Welcome to Blue Talks.
Have you ever felt as if you were carrying the weight of your ideas, your vision, your book all on your own? Like you're trying to lift everything up by sheer force and it's exhausting and you just can't seem to get the momentum to get what you need done. I know that feeling all too well. When you're pouring everything you have into something, hoping it's going to take off, but it feels like you're stuck and you're just carrying all the weight on your shoulders. In under 2 years, I went from stepping away from my full-time consulting job so I could focus more time on my doctoral studies to starting my own business focused on providing leadership and talent development support to organizations. And the intention was simple: to create a flexible job that would allow me to work with my clients and collaborate with other consultants, trainers, coaches. It was meant to give me the freedom to focus on my studies and spend more time with my family. Simple enough. But as I began to develop the business, I realized that there was an opportunity to turn this into something more powerful. I built Leadership and Training Concierge on the principle of leveraging connections, bringing together a network of talent development professionals who could collaborate on projects and proposals. And the goal was simple: to support each other and work together seamlessly as a concierge of sorts with my clients, our clients. Whether they needed coaching, training programs, consulting, I had my own programs in-house that I could provide. But my business could also connect to experts across my network. And something unexpected happened with this model. Through the connections that I was making through my business, I was amazed at how quickly things were starting to grow. I became a Forbes Coaches Council contributor, and then a 2-time international best-selling author through the connections I made. Then my business had the opportunity to be featured on the NASDAQ Times Square billboard. From there, I developed a TEDx talk that garnered 50,000 views in its first month. And I had the privilege to speak at places like here at Oxford and also at Columbia University. And I've helped launch a nationwide organization that supports women-owned businesses, helping them grow their own networks of support. And I'm not sharing all this to brag. I'm just sharing how leverage has worked for me. All this happened because I've chosen to let go of trying to do all the things on my own. Instead, I allowed myself to be guided and inspired by the ideas generated through those folks that I've connected with along the way. And that's when everything just seemed to kind of flow. And as these opportunities came, they translated to more visibility for me and my personal brand and my business, which then attracted more clients and strategic partnerships along the way. But none of this happened by accident. It wasn't because I worked harder or planned more meticulously or tried to control every single little detail. It was more because I learned how to leverage the connections that I've made along the way, that built on the strengths and the skills of the people that I've learned in my network. And that's what made all the difference. Leverage is about amplifying what you already have by connecting with the resources and connections around you. It's about creating that multiplier effect, where one small action can lead to exponential results, potentially. Leverage isn't about pushing harder. It's about finding smarter ways to use what you already have. your skills, your strengths, and most importantly, of course, your connections. It's about letting go of the idea that you really have to do it all by yourself. Think of a seesaw for a moment. It needs balance to create this movement. When there's weight on both sides, it generates this momentum, allowing you to lift higher and go further, as my kids would say, whee! But for the longest time, I saw myself as the fulcrum of this seesaw, the one in the middle, carrying all that weight, balancing everything, trying to lift everything up. And maybe on one side, I had perhaps the company or the project that I was trying to support. And I was in the middle straining, trying to make it rise, but the seesaw was unbalanced. I had nothing on the other side. And so that made it really hard to create any real momentum. And so the real breakthrough happened when I stopped trying to be the fulcrum, holding everything together by myself. And instead, I began positioning my connections on one side of the seesaw and then myself on the other side, allowing us to balance and lift each other up. We were no longer unbalanced in our efforts, straining for progress individually. Now we had a rhythm almost and momentum together, working in sync. And what made this possible was the new fulcrum, that shared purpose and trust and collaboration that held everything together. That fulcrum represented the mutual goals and the willingness to support one another. And with that new balance, we could move more smoothly, seamlessly, build that momentum, lift each other higher and higher than I could have ever done on my own. And let's be honest, seesaws are a lot more fun when there's someone on the other side to share the ride, right? So when you have an idea, don't keep it to yourself. Ideas need to breathe. When I started sharing mine with my friends and colleagues and collaborators, they grew in ways that I never could have imagined alone. Start by sharing your idea with maybe just one person. Get their feedback. Listen to their insights. Let it evolve. Don't be attached to the result. That's where the real magic happens, and that flexibility. Here's an example. When I published the first book that I co-authored, The 5 Coaching Conversations. I can't speak for my co-authors, but I was pretty proud of what we created and thought that the launch of the book would be a huge moment. But I quickly realized that a book on its own doesn't automatically open doors. You have to use it strategically. And so I began sharing it in new ways and using it to connect with others. And suddenly it wasn't just this product. It was a conversation starter, a tool that opened doors to new opportunities for me and for my co-authors, in this case for leadership development work for individuals and organizations. A book can be so much more than just a publication. It can be a gateway to networks, partnerships, and growth for you and your business, but you have to use it to connect with others. Another example. When I launched my business, I was pretty proud of the programs I was starting to put out there. But it wasn't until I started collaborating with other universities and businesses and people that my business really took off. By partnering with people that complemented my strengths and skills in publishing, leadership, coaching, we were able to create offerings far bigger than any of us individually could have done on our own. The point is, look for those that can help amplify what you're already doing. Seek out those complementary strengths. And when you find the right partners, it's no longer just about promoting your service. It's about creating something greater together. So take a moment and ask yourself, what is one thing that maybe you've been trying to do all on your own? And who could you reach out to share that load? to lift up and create together. You might be surprised. Today, think about one connection that you can make. Maybe it's a mentor or a colleague or someone you admire. Or maybe it's someone that you've met here at Oxford this week. And take that step to share, collaborate, and explore and see what could happen when you allow others to help lift you up. Leverage isn't just a tactic. It's about acknowledging that we are stronger together. It's about being willing to share that weight and to lift and be lifted. And when you embrace that, you'll find that opportunities don't just come to you, you create them together. Thank you for being here. And remember, keep doing what you love in service of those who love what you do. Thank you.